If you turned 65 and kept the coverage you already had, Medicare may be charging you 10% more than your neighbor for the rest of your life. COBRA does not stop it. Neither does a retiree plan. There are 5 kinds of coverage Medicare will not count, and exactly 1 it will. And you get 8 months to find out which one you have. This is for you if you turned 65 this year. It is for you if you retired before your Medicare ever started. It is for you if you are carried on a husband's or a wife's plan. And it is for you if you are still working and nobody at work has explained any of it. Here is the number that matters, not 2%, not 5, 10%. 10% added to your premium for every full year you could have signed up and did not. This is a permanent increase, recalculated every January against a premium that keeps climbing. A woman I will call Marilyn is 67 now, and she pays it every month. She did nothing reckless. Her retirement came the same month she turned 65. She took the COBRA her employer offered because it was the coverage she already understood. Nobody in that meeting mentioned that a clock had started the day she cleaned out her desk. 3 things before we go further. I am going to show you what Marilyn's decision actually cost her in dollars. I am going to name the one kind of coverage that legally stops this clock, because almost everybody guesses wrong. And I am going to tell you about the Medicare penalty most people are actually worried about, which is a different animal entirely. By the end, you will know the 5 that do not count, the 1 that does, and the 2 dates that decide it. I am holding the difference between those 2 penalties for near the end. You will hear the whole thing differently afterwards. Let us walk through it. Start with the part almost nobody is told plainly. Medicare does not sign you up. If you are already drawing Social Security at 65, you are enrolled automatically and this problem passes you by. Anyone not drawing it yet has to go and do the signing up themselves. You get 7 months, 3 months before the month you turn 65, the birthday month itself, and 3 months after. 7 months, and then the door closes. Miss it, and Medicare charges a late enrollment penalty on Part B. 10% of the standard premium for every full 12-month period you could have had Part B and did not. In 2026, the standard premium is $202.90 a month. 1 year late is about $20 a month. 2 years late is about $40. Now hear what makes it different from every other penalty in retirement. You pay it for as long as you have Part B. For most people, that means the rest of their life. There is a second one on the drug side. Go without creditable drug coverage after you are eligible, and Part D charges 1% for every month you are uncovered. That is calculated against a national base premium of $38.99. In dollars, it is smaller, and it never goes away either. There is a second door, and everything today turns on it. If you have health coverage through a job, yours or a spouse's, you get a special enrollment period of 8 months. But read where those 8 months start. They start when the employment ends, or when the coverage ends, whichever happens first. For most people who retire, the job ends first. The clock starts that day, whether they know it or not. And if both doors close, there is one way back in. The general enrollment period, the 1st of January through the 31st of March. Coverage starts the month after you sign up, and the penalty comes with it. So let me put Marilyn back on the table. Her year is the ordinary version of this, not the dramatic one. She turned 65 in March and retired the same month. Her 7-month window ran out at the end of June. She did not use it. Her reasons sounded excellent at the time. Her employer had offered 18 months of COBRA, and she took it. Coverage was in place. There was a card in her wallet and a payment leaving her account to prove it. Here is what she did not know. Her 8-month special enrollment period started in March when the job ended. Not the following August when COBRA finally ran out. The window expired that November, with 9 months of COBRA still left to run. She was paying for coverage during the exact months she should have been signing up for Medicare instead. COBRA ran out at the end of August the following year. Then came 5 months with no insurance at all, because general enrollment does not open until January. She paid a specialist out of her own pocket in that gap. She signed up in January, and her Part B started in February. Count the months she was eligible for Part B and did not have it. 19. That is one full 12-month period, with 7 months left over that do not count. So her penalty is 10%. 10% of $202.90 is $20.29 a month. $243 a year. $243 a year sounds survivable. That is the part that is smaller than you expected. Here is the part that is worse. She pays it every year she is alive, and the amount is not frozen. Her bill is 10% of whatever the premium is that year. Hold it flat for 20 years and it is close to $4,900. Nothing about it stays flat. Look at what she bought with all of that. 18 months of COBRA at full price, 5 months with no coverage at all, and a surcharge that outlives the decision by 30 years. She was not careless. She was covered the entire time she thought she needed to be. Now the part almost everybody has backwards, Marilyn included. There is exactly one thing that legally pauses your Medicare deadline. Health coverage based on somebody's current employment, yours or the job of a spouse who is still working. And the employer has to have 20 or more employees. That is the whole list, not the quality of the coverage, not what it costs you, not whether it beats Medicare. Medicare asks whether somebody is currently working at a company of at least 20 people and whether the coverage comes from that job. The reason is duller than you would like. The whole thing is about who pays a medical bill first. When the employer has 20 or more people, the group plan pays first and Medicare pays second. Medicare is content to wait, so it lets you wait too. Under 20 employees, that order flips. Medicare pays first and the group plan pays second. So say you work at a small company and skip Medicare at 65. Your own insurance company can look at the bill and see that Medicare should have paid first. They can see that you never enrolled, and they can decline to pay their part until Medicare pays. Medicare is not going to, because you are not on it. Sit with that for a second. You are paying premiums every month for a plan that is within its rights to pay nothing, that is not a penalty, that is worse than a penalty, and it arrives without warning on a bill. Every one of the 5 things I am about to list fails the same test. In each of them, nobody is currently working. Once you know the rule is about a job and not about coverage, the rest stops being a maze and starts being arithmetic. We have already done COBRA, so that is one of the 5. Here are the other 4, in the order people believe them. Retiree coverage from a former employer. This one stings because it comes from a company that genuinely did right by you. But the person it is attached to has retired, and current employment is the whole test. Medicare pays first and the retiree plan pays second. That plan was designed assuming you would have Part B. The gap it leaves is exactly the shape of the Part B you did not buy. A group plan at a company with fewer than 20 people. We just covered the mechanics. Real job, real coverage, real premiums, and not one extra month. This is the cruelest one on the list. Everybody knows employer coverage counts, and nobody is ever told about the 20-person line. A marketplace plan, the kind you buy for yourself through the exchange. This is individual coverage, not employment coverage, so it extends nothing. And there is a second cost behind it. Once you are eligible for premium-free Part A, you stop qualifying for the marketplace subsidy. Keep taking that help anyway, and some of it can be clawed back at tax time. Veterans healthcare on its own. For anyone who served, this is the one I get asked about most. Veterans care is a separate system, and it does not coordinate with Medicare the way a group plan does. You choose one per visit. They will not both pay for the same service. Veterans care is real, and your deadline keeps running anyway. 5 things. COBRA, retiree coverage, a small employer plan. a marketplace plan, and veterans care alone. Every one is genuine health insurance. Marilyn had one of them, and it was the most reasonable choice in the room. Not one of them stops the clock. And one thing here is rare enough to say out loud. Every rule in this video is federal. It works the same in all 50 states. Here is the thing I have been holding for you. When people hear the words Medicare penalty, most are not thinking about anything I have described. They are thinking about the income surcharge, the one where earning a little too much raises your premium 2 years later. Nobody remembers its proper name. That surcharge is real. In 2026, it starts above $109,000 of income for a single person. For a couple, it is $218,000. Income is measured on your 2024 tax return. At the first step, it takes the premium from $202.90 to $284.10. But look at what it does next. It comes off. When your income falls back below the line, the surcharge goes with it. Every year it gets recalculated against a fresh tax return. It is a rent, not a scar. Marilyn's penalty is the opposite in every way that matters. Her income has nothing to do with it. Nobody reviews it each year to see whether she still deserves it. It attached to a date she missed, and it stays attached. So the country worries loudly about the reversible one, while the permanent one arrives quietly, on the accounts of people who thought they had done everything right. One more thing while we are here, because it catches careful people. If you sign up for Medicare after 65, Part A can start retroactively up to 6 months back. Usually that is a favor. A health savings account changes that, because you cannot contribute to one while you are on Medicare. Stop contributing 6 months before you enroll. People find this out from a tax bill, which is a poor way to find out. So here is what to do, in order. 1. Find the month you turned 65, or the month you will. 3 months before it, 3 months after it. Write both dates down. That is your window. 2. If you are working, or a spouse is working, ask one person at that job one question. How many employees does this company have, and is the drug coverage creditable? Those 2 facts decide whether you can wait. 3. If a job has already ended, count 8 months forward from the last day of work. Not from the last day of the coverage, not from the last COBRA payment. From the last day somebody was employed. That is the step Marilyn missed, and it is the one that costs the most. 4. If both windows are already gone, do not accept the surcharge quietly. If an employer, a plan, or a federal employee gave you wrong information, there is a process called equitable relief. The process exists precisely for that. Make a phone call to Social Security before you decide the number is permanent. If this was useful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Somewhere out there is a man cleaning out his desk this Friday, about to take the COBRA because it looks like the safe choice. He has 8 months and no idea. This channel exists so he hears the whole picture while he can still act on it. Your one thing today: find the month you turned 65 and count 3 months past it. If that date has gone by and Medicare does not have your name, you have a phone call to make on Monday morning. I am not an insurance agent and I do not sell any of this. Run your own dates, or sit down with your state health insurance assistance program, which is free.